Ciao, hi, hey guys, just making sure I'm live on Facebook as well. Hope Facebook is not going to take long again because it did the last one. It didn't take too long. Ciao, hi, hey guys, it's your boy MKS here, back in another video, and welcome to the third and penultimate part of my dreams for encouraging investment and sponsorship and things like that, coaching and whatnot into Italian football, and look at how Italian football can change, and having award ceremonies and things like that. Potential award ceremonies Italian football could have, which I hope will encourage that investment, sponsorship, even donations to management of and coaching and new ideas in Italian football to improve it and drive it forward. As per usual, these are pointers number 21 to 30, and I'd love to know what you think. As ever, I'm thinking of the song by David Bowie, the late David Bowie, "We Could Be Heroes," but because I was thinking my heroes are those like who invest in Italian football and that kind of thing. But here goes. So these are, as I say, our pointers number 21 to 30. I hope you enjoy them, and please let me know what you think and what could Italian football do to attract investment and honour and acknowledge those who invest into, donate to even, and certainly sponsor Italian football. I mean, the whole point would be to encourage others to do so, I guess, but it is good to give back and say thanks, I think, as well. But again, with momentum, I think it encourages people to support you. The more gratitude you have, the more you focus on something, I think that helps it to grow. But I'd love to know what you think about things like that and positive thinking, or anything like that. And here goes. So number 21, I'd love for Italian football to have award shows and ceremonies and whatnot and to reward those who, through those award shows and things like that, acknowledging and appreciating and honouring those who benefit Italian football through like YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, social media generally, websites, the Walk and Hall of Fame, and again, award shows and other ways maybe they could acknowledge such. Those who, I think about the same 21 again, I normally say, pretty much always. So I was thinking like those who help to make Italian football great again. And another thing is helping those helping Italian football to connect with its diaspora in America, Canada, in Argentina, Brazil, Mexico, and all over the world, really, Australia, Australasia, the Americas, Europe, and everywhere, even across Asia, maybe. Don't know much. There's probably not a massive diaspora in Asia, but of Italians, but I know there are in places like America, Canada, especially Argentina, Brazil, and places like that. And come to think about the diaspora, I think another thing about 21 again is like there could be those from the diaspora who get in touch with there could be an award show for the top 10 or the top 100 or 20 or 30 or 40 or whatever number they choose, people who from the diaspora who contribute to Italian football and to their roots and that kind of thing. And also, again, those who help Italian football to reach out to its roots, to those from the Italian diaspora all over the world. Diaspora, however you pronounce it. So those who help to market Italian football, especially like Serie A and that kind of thing, to the diaspora all over the world. I think that comes out for number 21. But yeah, I'd love to know your suggestions on how that could be achieved and encouraged and that kind of thing. Number 22, those who help Italian football to modernise. Talk about changes in point number 11. And as I think of like 21 as the past, like making Italian football great again, connecting with the diaspora, bringing back the glory days, obviously, that kind of thing. I think of 22 as like looking to the future to see how Italian football can modernise in the 21st century and into the next 5 to 10 year plan, 5 to 10 years. So it could be, I was thinking ahead of myself, I guess, but it could be those who help Italian football to have 5 to 10 year plans, those who have the best vision for Italian football, those who, again, help Italian football to modernise, maybe help the stadium to modernise, help the tactics to modernise, and come up with new and innovative ideas, helping Italian football. Hopefully a lot of people with mental health problems and neurodivergent people can be involved in that as well as others, neurotypical people and normal people, whatever, same people as well. But yeah, hopefully there'll be a few people with mental health problems and neurodivergent conditions and that kind of thing, and sometimes both, like myself, who can feel a sense of purpose and feel better by doing that kind of thing. Moving on to 23, the biggest investors into, certainly donators to and sponsors of, donors to, donators to and whatnot, of Italian football. So those who fund Italian football the most, those who help to fundraise for it, invest into it, even donate to it, sponsor it, fundraise for such, and come up with ideas to help with marketing, branding, and other ways to I know I mentioned this before, but in point number 18, but helping Italian football to be as ethical as possible and do lots of things for charity and good causes, those who help to organise fundraising games and things like that, fundraising through football and that kind of thing, and tackling poverty through football, those who help to tackle poverty through football. I think it'd be cool if Italy had award shows and ceremonies on that as well. Number 24, those who help to unite the country. I think like 24 hours in a day, and I guess that makes me think of countries' national days. But yeah, on certain days like Italy's Unification Day, Italy's National Day, and days like that, they could host events which honour and acknowledge those who contribute to Italian football. They could have things like Britain has its own knighthoods and things like that. Maybe Italy could have its own honours list, but especially for those who contribute to Italian football. And those who give opportunities for Italians to play football for as many hours a day as possible, hopefully at least an hour a day, and as many hours a day and as often as possible, 365 days a year. So hopefully 365 hours or more of practice each year and developing the game. And I think that covers everything for point number 24. Some could be for the best overseas managers and coaches. Some could be for Italian managers and coaches themselves from Italy. Some could be for those from the diaspora, and some could be for people from different backgrounds, maybe. Number 25, again, maybe Italy could have its own version of like the honours list on special occasions, whether that's like a New Year's honours list to contribute to Italian football, or it could be on Italy's Republic Day. For some reason, number 25 makes me think of republics a lot, but monarchies versus republics. But maybe those who help improve relations with Italy and other nations through football. So those who help Italy to use football as a diplomatic tool, and maybe people from different countries that help Italian football, like different businesses and sovereign wealth funds, like if the PIF invests in Italian football and others like that. So the countries that invest the most into Italian football, maybe, and that kind of thing, as well as like offering other rewards like access to Italian markets, tax cuts, or even being tax exempt and that kind of thing. I'd love for Italy, as I mentioned before, I'd love for Italy to be like the Swiss, but for football and through football. Yeah, on special occasions, having those sorts of events for contributing to the football development in the Republic of Italy and that kind of thing. Again, it could be for those from Italy itself. It could be special ones for people from overseas benefiting Italian football. Also, those who integrate migrants, I could have said in point 24, I guess, but those who bring the country together. I suppose I did say that, but that could include migrants and people from different backgrounds, including neurodivergent people, which I hope to come to. And again, getting as many Italians, especially young Italians, as possible to play football as often as possible. I'll drink to that, as I say. Number 26, those who give to the back to the youth and that kind of thing, give back to football development for those from disadvantaged backgrounds. I guess that could go along with developing unity amongst football, Italians united with football, that kind of thing. As I said in point of 24, but yeah, giving back to people from disadvantaged backgrounds, from poorer backgrounds and whatnot, giving them opportunities. So like here in England, and I'm sure in other countries as well, and around the world, you have to pay to use certain pitches or whatever if they have like floodlights, or to have access, or some people might not have that access. So to give those opportunities, I think would be cool to give people opportunities to go to play football in different pitches, and also youth clubs and things like that, developing football. But again, giving back, I guess, and also, again, using football to give back, especially to former colonies and developing nations and whatnot. Number 27, again, my heroes. I think of the David Bowie song, Heroes, we could be heroes one day. My heroes are those who benefit Italian football, and they could be like, who are the greatest heroes of Italian football? I was thinking like, who is the GOAT in Serie A? That could be an overseas player like Zidane, Zizou, Ronaldinho, Maradona, Ronaldo, both either one of the Ronaldos or people like that who are the top players. There could be a list of, it could be the top 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, or even 100, or even 1,000, or even a million, but that's pushing a bit. On a serious note, it could be that many, and then it could be narrowed down from a really high number down to top 20, or even 10, or even 5, or even the top one GOAT. So people could vote on that. Maybe Serie A could have that on their channel, like the top voted on. But again, I think it'd be cool if they had award ceremonies and shows, which that'd be like the Oscars or whatever, or like the Ballon d'Or, but Italy could have its own version of that. Also, they could have categories like the best overseas players, the best Italian players themselves, the best for the national team, the best in Serie A. Again, that could include overseas players, the best Italian player in Serie A, the best player from overseas, the best players from the diaspora, those of Italian descent, of course, and all sorts of different categories. It'd be interesting to know how many they could have. And on that note, I'd love to know what you think about that. Like any Italian fans out there, I hope will get involved in the comments and say, either on Facebook and Twitter, or preferably both on YouTube and Facebook, at least one of them. So yeah, on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter, or even both, saying who your favourite players who have played in Serie A are, your favourite overseas players, and your favourite players from overseas, and your favourite Italian players, and your favourite players for the national team, people like Roberto Baggio and people like that, Paolo Rossi, Cannavaro, Maldini, and players like that. And again, overseas players in Serie A like Ronaldinho, Zizou, Maradona, and players like that. And over time, over history, there's been some great players in Italy, and I think Italy could capitalise on that by saying, if you play for Napoli, you play for the club that Maradona used to play for. If you play for AC Milan, you play for the club that so many great players, legends of the past, have played for, like Maldini, Albertini, Pirlo for a while, and so many others, Ronaldinho, Kaká, and so many great other players, both Italian and from overseas. So yeah, they could be the GOAT, legends of Serie A, legends of the Italian national team, and that kind of thing. And if Serie A makes those videos, hopefully they can raise more money, which could go to helping the clubs to buy better players. I hope they don't just put it in their pocket, put it in their bank account, and not reinvest it back into football. Similar with, I hope with Celtic, that they reinvest back into the club. But yeah, legends of the game, the GOATs of the game, and that kind of thing. Best overseas players, foreign or overseas or whatever term you prefer, and that kind of thing. I could probably go on all day, but I'm going to move on. Number 28, those who have turned negative situation into positives. Like, whatever you think of Jose Mourinho, for instance, I think he should be nominated as one of the top managers from overseas to manage in Italy, because when Italian footy was on its knees and no Italian teams were winning, he helped Inter Milan to win. He then helped Roma to win when Italian teams weren't doing too well. He helped Roma to get to a few finals, so they doubled and nearly tripled their European trophy haul, European trophy count, and that kind of thing. So I do think he had weaknesses, like he didn't play enough young players, he fell out with people, and he did a few things that I'm not too keen on, but at the same time he did help them to win trophies. He helped two Italian teams to win in Europe, so I think there could be some, I might have mentioned this before, but those who help, like overseas managers who have helped an Italian team win a trophy in Europe and or internationally. And there could be a category for Italians themselves, so that it could be those who are foreigners or from overseas, or whatever term you want to use, whatever PC term you want to use nowadays, or whatever, or non-PC term, or whatever, respectively. On that note, what would you say? Because I know my mum, she really dislikes or even hates the word foreigner. She feels that's quite a racist term. But I'd love to know what you prefer, like people from overseas, foreigner, or whatever. What do you think? Like, you're not a big fan of political correctness or whatever. Be interested to know those views generally as well. But as I say, yeah, Mourinho had his flaws, but I think he did some good things. And I think like Marcello Lippi helped Italy to win the World Cup for the first time in ages. So a lot of people might be against him for his record generally, but I think that the fact he was a World Cup winning manager, I think he should be acknowledged for that contribution, as well as his contributions to Juventus. But again, it could be a whole list of the managers who have won the most in Serie A or in Italy itself, and in domestic games, the most managers who have won the most Coppa Italia's, Super Cups and things like that, or whatever, and those who have helped, most importantly in my opinion, those who have helped to put Italian football on the map will get Italian football back closer to the top by winning trophies in Europe and amateur international, like World Club Cups and things like that. But also like Europa Leagues and things like that, Conference Leagues, Europa Leagues, Champions Leagues, and then going back, UEFA Cups and things like that. But yeah, those who have contributed to Italian football in some way, I hope they'll have as many categories as possible and find ways to acknowledge them and that kind of thing. Number 29, I hope that many neurodivergent people, again, will show what we can do and be involved in these awards and show what we can achieve. But again, those who incorporate people with neurodivergent conditions and include people with mental health problems, neurodivergent people. Given my patterns, I would have probably said this in point of break, but I think I forgot. But I said about bringing back the passion to Italian football, but also those who include people from the diaspora. I mentioned the diaspora, but those, as I could have said in point 24 as well, but those who include like migrants. I sort of briefly touched on it, but those who include migrants, people from diverse backgrounds, neurodivergent people, people with mental health problems, and especially young people involved, how to include and incorporate people from migrant and refugee backgrounds, like a team called Libere Nantes, or however you pronounce it. And yeah, I say I hope in the future dyslexic and other neurodivergent people and mentally ill people will show what we can do to benefit Italian football. Both those in Italy itself and those who are overseas, and I'd love to travel with neurodivergent people. And number 30, I hope I didn't forget any points, but I'll probably include them in part 4. And on that note, I'll say I will be kicking myself if I forgot anything, but I am going to wrap this up, and peace and love.